Instagram. Happy Wednesday. Yes, I'm messing with my stand right now. Welcome to today's episode of the Trish Lynn Show. I am so excited for today's conversation. We are talking about a mom's guide to wellness. And here we go. I'm hoping that worked. I hit accept. There we go.
Hello there.
Please work. I really hope that.
I was hoping to. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I just shared what we were talking about. I'd love to let you introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah. So my name is Jamie Altwies. I have a business called Hot Bod Health, and I actually I focus on busy moms and help them to just kind of go through and organize their lives, figure out how to find that self-care. There are so many moms that feel like overwhelmed and they kind of lose themselves in being a mom and wife and their careers. And I was a teacher for 16 years, so I totally get it. 2 years ago, I kind of totally lost myself. I was on the verge of divorce. So I really took a step back and just started to really find that self-care. And then I was like, this is really awesome and I want to help other people. So I focus on mindset and nutrition and physical activity depending on the person's level. So it could be anywhere from just getting off the couch to working out 2 hours a day.
Yeah. I love that. As a mom of three, I can definitely understand the losing yourself piece because I have been there. I'm trying to clear this. Instagram keeps telling me it's pushing out the video, but all the words keep blocking half of your face on me.
Nice.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Yeah.
But no, that's something that I can totally relate to, especially after 3 kids, because pair that with the toxic relationship, you literally lose all of you and all of who you are. So I'd love to dive into first the mindset piece because it is such a big piece. And how it's really a combination. And it's funny that we talk about the nutrition piece. I just made, and I'm sharing in a bit, the most delicious breakfast because fueling our bodies is so important. But that goes in hand with the mindset piece as well. So I'd love for you to take the stage and share a bit about, how you support moms with their mindset.
Definitely. It's really funny because people hear that I'm a health coach and they're like, oh, I want to work out. I'm like, well, I think that's actually the last piece of the puzzle. It really starts with your mindset. So when I get moms who are like, oh, I don't need that part. And I'm like, but you do. Like, let's go through and just look at your schedule and figure out when you can find 10 minutes here or there to get a little time in for yourself. So we start with that, and then we go into positive affirmations, which it's really interesting because I have moms that are like, I think that was one of the best things that I've ever done, just because it totally flips the script for you. We go through and about once a week, we'll change up the mindset activity. So each week there's something mindset, affirmations, things like that. So really helpful, just finding those 3 things a day that you need to do. Moms are always so overwhelmed. So just pick 3 things that you need to do the 3 things. And if you get other things done, great. And if you don't, but really focus on those 3 things, right? Yeah. And just really, like, we set up a morning routine that's going to set up your whole day, a bedtime routine that's just 10 minutes just to get ready for bed so you can get that good sleep, because we all know that moms don't get enough sleep either. And sleep, you can't function without enough sleep. So just really doing that piece and taking 10 minutes, whether starting out like meditation. They found that meditation actually changes the gray matter in your brain. So even if you just do 2 minutes 2 times a week and build from there, it's going to totally change your life. So just really focusing on that. I found that taking that few minutes for myself, whether it's writing in a journal or meditating, and I'm not great at it. I don't love it. I always thought it was really weird until I tried it. And I'm like, this is really amazing. And it's totally changed how I am. And my family's like, thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you doing that.
Yeah. As a mom, we get overstimulated.
Yes.
Very, very easily. And then we don't show up the way we want to
exactly.
for our kids. And it's being able to take that step back and, focus on the self-care aspect that we neglect, we throw aside because, oh, this needs taken care of, oh, this needs taken care of, oh, I've got to do this and this before I go to work.
Exactly. But taking 10 minutes to even just go in your room
Yeah,
and just sit and breathe. And I mean, I found like I've got some of those coloring books that are like the
I
flowers, it
love
doesn't matter. Yes,
those.
and they're amazing. I'm like, find your inner child. What is something that you loved to do when you were 10 years old and
Yeah,
do it and see how you feel? Because even if you involve your kids, it doesn't have to be just you, but it changes everything.
yeah. It's taking that time to, one, come back to yourself,
Hmm.
and be able to calm your mind because you're
Exactly.
always going. And it's funny that, a lot of the pieces that you said are pieces that I use in my business, and we do two totally different things. So it's neat that we go and focus on the same thing, like the affirmations, building yourself up. The women I work with are so used to being knocked down
Hmm.
that actually growing their businesses is something that's difficult for them. So it's, what can we repeat? I am confident is something that I say every single day.
Yes, I have started getting up and saying I have a whole little mantra. I am worthy. I'm worthy to do this. I'm worthy to be listened to. I'm worthy to be heard.
Yeah.
And it came from my coach. I have an amazing coach, Tara Dawn, that gave me that. And I'm like, this is
Yeah.
fabulous because growing up too, like we all have different childhoods, but growing up, I was the youngest kid. My sisters had been they like dominated our household. So I grew up and I was like, I was always super shy, never talked. And now growing up and being like, I do have things to say. I've studied all of this. I have a master's degree. I have a degree in psychology. I can do like, I have stuff to give people. So just having
Yeah.
those affirmations, it totally changes
Yeah.
things.
And
Yeah.
it helps you get into the mindset, or even looking at all the pieces that you have and that you bring to the table. It empowers you to say, I'm fucking worth it. Like, look
Exactly.
at this. I have this. I did that for myself because I was kind of questioning things, and I'm like, wait a second. No, full stop. I'm going to write out everything that I have
Yep.
experienced. And I look and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. This
This is what
is
I'm
amazing.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's being able to look at those pieces. Now, okay, then we'll take it one step further. You fuel that with nutrition
Yeah.
and, feeding your body the things that it needs to thrive.
Exactly. You brought that up earlier, and there are also so many moms that they get up and they may help their kids skip breakfast, but they skip breakfast. I have so many women. I don't eat breakfast. I'm like, okay, well, even if you wait a little bit later because you're doing the intermittent fasting or whatever, you have to fuel your
Yeah.
body. So you need to eat some kind of breakfast. And they're like, I hardly eat anything all day. I said, well, let's try tracking it because I promise you're getting more calories than you think. Because probably what's happening is by the end of the day, you're so hungry, or
You're
just
just
throughout the day,
eating.
you're feasting on stuff.
Yeah.
So you don't think you're eating it, you're not counting it, but write down everything you eat and then switch it over to just having 3 or 4
Yeah.
meals or 3 meals and a snack. And you're going to see so many changes in your body and how you
Yeah.
feel.
Well, you need that fuel throughout the day to
Mm-hmm.
keep going. So I have a background in nutrition as
Yeah.
well. And that's how got started in the online space, was a nutrition coach and specializing in weight loss. So it's still something that I share with my clients because you
Mm-hmm.
need that fuel to keep
Yes.
going. We're doing so many things, but I am like the number one most guilty person for not eating. And
Well, yeah.
I'm aware of it, so I actually have protein shakes that I know, like, oh shit, I haven't eaten yet. I grab a protein
Mm-hmm.
shake because I'll sit down here at my desk and I'll start working, and the next thing you know, 2-3 hours has gone by.
Yeah.
So usually before I even come up here, if I don't have anything ready, I have a protein shake in a glass, my water. But this morning, I actually still have my cup here. I made the most delicious, and I wanted to try it because I saw it on Facebook or something in a video, the blended overnight
Oh,
oats.
yeah. Those are so good.
It
Some of them.
was so good.
Yeah.
This one was just like simple, and then I topped it off with a bit of peanut butter and some strawberries. It
Mm-hmm.
was delicious. But, I didn't let it sit overnight. I let it sit for, I think, a half hour because I
Yeah.
have quick oats. And that's all you need. So there's really, there's no excuse. We can get these things done. We
Exactly.
can have it planned out, prepped out. And it's just taking, again, even if that's your 10 minutes,
Exactly.
that's your 10 minutes. Let's whip up these overnight oats. Let's get them ready for
Yeah.
the next 4 days.
Turn on some music because they found that music is really positive. turn on some music that is upbeat, put on headphones, whatever you need to, and meal prep for 15
Yep.
minutes and make that kind of stuff. When I was teaching, it's really easy. And my kids are now in high school, but at the time, I mean, I had them going to school with me. Every school I've taught at, they've attended. So we were always rushing around and trying to get them. And before that, I was taking them daycare. And I'm like, this is crazy. But I found that the overnight oats, I would make 3 days worth because I don't like them past that. They get soggy.
Yeah.
But take that 10 minutes and it literally would be like, oh, I can't wait to get up to eat those oats because it's like a dessert in a cup.
Yeah.
So they're so good.
So
Yeah.
good. And
So
it,
good.
you know, it gives you that fuel. You add in, you said you track macros. I know we were talking before and you said you track macros. So like I usually focus on my fats and protein for
Me too.
longer periods of time. So for those of you who don't know much about nutrition, carbs blow through your body very quickly and are a quick source of energy. So like within 30 minutes, they're already gone and you're hungry again. So if you're eating, you know, that toast for breakfast and you're now hungry a half hour later, that's why. Pair that with some protein or a healthy fat and you're, you know, a 3 to 4 hour window of feeling full.
Yeah.
Because it takes longer to digest in your body.
Not only that, but get more protein.
Yes.
No one gets enough protein.
Well, and that's the other thing I've started, you know, I learned was women, we don't get enough protein to begin with. And then as we get older, we need more protein.
Yeah. And you feel full longer, so it's worth it. Just there.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
You feel
super
full.
simple. One of my favorite breakfasts as well is I get just plain Greek yogurt, and it's really gross by itself, I'll admit. But you add it with fruit, and I actually just get the huge bag of frozen fruit at Costco, and I defrost it for like 2 minutes in my microwave, and then I put the yogurt on top of it, and it's like juicy, and it's so good, and it's a great source of protein. I
love that. So I love the Costco has, I'm going to share this recipe too, because it is like dessert for breakfast. I've often had this for lunch too, but Costco has the chocolate covered strawberries.
Yeah.
And in Canada, it's hard to find, but in the States, I know it's more accessible. But the low fat or no fat or non-fat cheesecake Jello.
Oh
my gosh. Just blend a little bit of that in with your Greek yogurt and then add the chocolate covered strawberries. And it's literally dessert.
That sounds so good. Yeah.
It is delicious because I love my Greek yogurt too.
Yes. And some of those overnight oats as well, you can add like little chocolate chips because they're like 8 calories to have a whole serving of chocolate chips. So adding that, it's like literally a dessert in a cup. It's so good.
Yeah. And there's so many things that I think women stay away from because they think it's not good for them. But in the end, you know, it's the littlest thing that makes something that, you know, you may not like enjoyable, and you're fueling your body to keep going. Because eventually, if you don't eat, your body is going to say, oh, I've had enough. Like you're on a timeout now.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we all get sick otherwise as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, well, you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
You know what? No matter what you do, you're going to get sick. But the fact is you get sick less.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm now 48. I go to the doctor and I'm like, well, I've gained a little bit of weight because I'm starting that whole perimenopausal thing, which is super frustrating and a whole other conversation on its own. But they're like, oh, let's do blood work. I'm like, there's no point. It's going to come back. They always come back. They're like excited on the phone. We can't believe how good your blood work is. I'm like, I know, I told you it would be fine. Yeah. It's not the issue. Yeah. So just knowing that I have that health and that I'm doing everything I can preventative. I'm not pre-diabetic. I'm not these other things. I don't have heart disease. I don't have any, which totally runs in my family. So not having those things is just amazing. And it's just super frustrating I just have to touch on this really quick.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor when I first started. It's not like I've gained a ton of weight, but I'd gained like 4 pounds. And I went in and I said, I've gained weight. She's like, you've gained 4 pounds in 2 years. I'm like, but I didn't want to gain it ever. So she's like, cut your diet in half. I'm like, your calories. I'm like, so you're literally telling me to like be anorexic? Because that would be like 700 or 800 calories a day. No, thank you. And I'm just like, and then we've heard these studies where they don't even teach nutrition to doctors. So
they don't.
The doctors are doing what they are supposed to and what they think they should do, but they don't have the training in nutrition and they're just prescribing stuff.
Doctors are prescriptions to mask. Yeah. So I took holistic health and nutrition. And the more you learn, the more you start to learn, because you start to pay attention to all these things, right? So doctors mask whatever is going on with the prescription.
Yep.
Dietitians are given a, here's what the government wants you to say is healthy.
Yep.
Whereas if you go and find a holistic nutritionist, we look at all of the pieces.
Exactly.
Not masking the problem, but what is the underlying problem. Not that, oh, well, this is what the government's telling me today you should be eating for what's going on. But okay, like, let's look at what feels good for you.
Exactly.
And get to the bottom of it. So for anyone watching in on the show, even if you're catching the replay and you know someone, or you are someone that is, you know, you have symptoms and it's just being masked, get yourself a holistic nutritionist, because they get to the root of the problem, not just what they're told to do.
Exactly. I mean, there are so many, and everyone's body is different. Everyone is going to have different issues or different ways to solve their problem. But a lot of times it's just getting more protein and getting in more magnesium or getting those electrolytes. Yeah. And it really helps. Or you're just not getting enough water.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
It's a big one.
Yeah. Cutting out alcohol. I just listened to a podcast on alcohol that you're literally just putting poison in your body. And yeah. So
yeah,
all the effects. I've never realized just how many effects alcohol has, especially on women.
Yeah. So I quit drinking. I can't say I quit, but I all but quit. So I will still have a beer here and there, but for the most part, I don't really drink anymore, and I feel so much better.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I go it's been about 3 weeks since I had a glass of wine, and the difference is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had someone talk to me about someone they know, and they had constant headaches. I'm like, well, what does their diet look like?
Yeah.
Like, as soon as they start talking, I'm like, okay, well, one, like, there's zero water in there daily. Our bodies need water. The junk food's got to go. Like, all these little things that, no wonder she had constant migraines and can't keep up, and she's tired. Well, your body says enough.
Yeah, exactly. I have a client, one of her best friends just got diagnosed with some kind of huge liver disease problem, and she doesn't drink or anything. And I said, well, you know, what is her diet like? Once again, she has a ton of sugar. She eats junk food. She's completely, and they're not going to do anything because they say she's too old. So here's some medication. I'm like, let's change your diet. Let's see what happens. You can kind of reverse that stuff. So
yeah. It's amazing, you know, as long as you focus on, especially as a busy mom, fueling your body, you have to, because if you get into that state of overwhelm and now you're not eating, one, when your body's hungry, you also don't show up how you want to for your kids, because you're grouchy, and then you get overstimulated on top of that, and it's like a whole war. And that used to be me. Like,
me too.
I don't deny that used to be me. I used to snap at the littlest thing. And now it's a completely different atmosphere, which is amazing. Yeah. But I am, you know, you feel selfish at first, but I'm putting my needs first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're on a plane, they tell you put the air mask on yourself first for a reason. Yeah. It's the same thing. I mean, in life, it really is. You have to have your own oxygen to help other people.
Yeah.
So I wholly believe, I mean, I will tell you that 2 years ago, and I was like, oh, you guys are doing this, and you're not helping out, and you're not. And then one day I basically had a breakdown at work, and my boss sent me home. And I spent 2 days, I basically just stayed in bed, which I obviously needed, and just really thought about stuff. I was writing stuff down. I really just went into self-reflection at the time, hardcore self-reflection, and really was like, okay, I can't change my family. I need to change myself. What can I do to help the situation? So I started, you know, really making sure that I was actually going out and working out, because that, for me, it releases those endorphins. So I work out 3 or 4 or 5, 6 times a week, depending on the week. I'm not going to say I do it every day, because I don't. And I started doing things like meditation and studying that and really getting into it. And I knew about it already, but I'm like, you know, it's great, but it's just, I'm too busy myself. You're never too busy. And my family's like, wow, you're like a different person. Did you start taking medicine? No. I mean, like, I have to take actually some stuff, but nothing, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. And just totally changed my life, changed my relationship with my family, changed my relationship with friends. I was actually able to kind of stop talking to some people that were a little bit toxic to me. I've added in new friends. I've been able to create these boundaries, which is another topic. People always say that boundaries, I'm just going to be mean from now on because I found that people walk all over me. And I'm like, you can be kind and still have
Yeah.
boundaries. It's really easy to say, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Or not
not saying that
today.
I've cut people off, but I've
Yeah.
started saying, no, I'm sorry, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, and you distance yourself. You don't have to
Yeah,
cut them out, but you can distance at the
exactly.
same time. Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
there are people that I've been like, I'm
yeah,
done. Like,
yeah,
you are just toxic to me, and I'm okay with that too.
yeah, yeah. And I love the fitness part that you just said. You know, you don't exercise every day. It's building up a routine that works for you and not feeling guilty if you miss a day.
Exactly.
You know, if again we had this previous conversation, but I mean, if that means you just get up off the couch,
Yep. And go outside,
you get up.
get
Yeah.
that sunlight. Yeah,
Go for a walk into the backyard and ground. That's
exactly.
one
I
more
mean, I'll go out on
step
the back
ahead.
porch
Yep.
and drink my coffee. And there are studies that show that morning sunlight is better than afternoon. So if you can get up in the morning and spend 5 or 10 minutes outside, it will definitely change your day. That sunlight is just amazing.
Yeah.
And even if it's cloudy, it doesn't have to be a sunny day. So that's a
It still
misconception.
comes through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's vitamins that your body needs
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of people are, don't realize it's just so simple to step outside and makes you that much happier.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Another thing people say, oh, I don't like running. So I can't do cardio. I don't ride bikes anymore. You don't have to do all that. You can go for a walk. Walking is amazing. It's actually better on your joints. Lifting some weights because resistance training is so good for your
Yeah.
bones and muscles and raises your metabolism, and going for a walk is so great.
Yeah. Walking, and I just use body weight.
Yeah.
There's so many,
Exactly.
you don't need tools to get a good home workout in. You don't need to throw in the cardio to get a good home workout in. You know, I love my yoga.
Yeah.
And
I love
trying
yoga.
to get back into it. So I actually cannot run anymore. I used
It
to
hurts
run.
me. Yeah, I don't love it either.
I
can, but I hate it.
No, I love it and I miss it, but I have hip bursitis.
Mm-hmm.
So running puts so much pressure on the joint that it causes the swelling and then hits my sciatic nerve, and I don't walk for a couple weeks.
Exactly. Well, and I think that's why I hate it, because it just causes me so much pain. When I was young, I loved it. I used to run I did Muay Thai forever. And I used to get up and go run 6 miles or 4 miles, and cool. It was so great. I loved it. And now I'm like, I'll run down the street and I'm like, that was good. I'll walk. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll go row. I have a rowing machine.
It's finding the movement that works for you.
Exactly.
And as long as you're out moving your body, then that's what gets the energy moving, the endorphins moving, and all of the good things that just come with actually moving your body.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there are so many things you can do when you're doing dishes. Add in a couple like little squats and lunge across the room, and you may feel like a goober at first, but it's going to change those little movements all the time. It's interesting. You have all the moms out there with their kids that are ADHD. Those kids are actually healthier because they're moving, and they're driving their teachers crazy, but at the same time, they're not just sitting there. They're actually moving all the time, and it's here. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's little things that you can fit in, walking up the stairs. Mm-hmm. Go 2 steps at a time, or, do something that's challenging you. Add in something.
Yeah, park farther away from the store entrance.
Yeah. Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Even now, my daughter's bus, there's a bus that comes right to the corner of my street, and then there's another bus that comes at the end, at the other corner, and I have to walk to the other corner for some reason. But everyone now, like all my neighbors, are going to this bus, and I'm walking down there. I'm like, hey, it's some exercise for the day. I do it twice a day. So
my son walks home from school, and I have it set on my phone. I have an alarm set that until it gets too cold, because I'm in Idaho, and when it snows, I go pick him up. But when it's warm enough, I'll take my dog. I have a German Shepherd, and I'll walk and meet him halfway. So I walk 1.5 miles and go meet him. Usually it's more than halfway because it's about a mile, definitely more than half, but get there and back, it's a mile and a half about. And I'm like, perfect, I love it. And then sometimes I'll go for a walk again later. But just getting outside for that 10 or 15 minutes is just, it gets me up, it gets me moving, and then I'm actually able to focus better and do my work again. Because you start to fizzle,
Yep.
you start to get that brain fog, and it's really tough. So just having that time and getting up and moving, it's really important, more important than people think.
Well, it helps clear out your mind. And then, a lot of my clients will be like, well, I don't know what to do. And you're sitting here thinking about, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. I'm like, get up, drop what you're doing, get up, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Because it's going to help clear your head and bring that creativity back in.
Exactly. I have an issue with, I'll have like so many things that I need to do, and I'll have a list of 50 things. And I've tried to choose the top 3, but I'm like, oh, I really don't want to do those. So then I'll go through and you do like a brain dump and you write everything down, just everything, you just write it. And then you go through and kind of highlight the things that are most important and cross off the things that this really doesn't matter. And it really helps. So get up, go walk, take a walk, and then come back and just write down everything that you're feeling. And while you're walking, don't think about work. Think about the sounds outside. Think about music, or listen to a podcast that's totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just totally set that aside. Don't walk out while you're walking and think about it, because it's not going to be the same effect.
No, I very often will stop what I'm doing and just step into gratitude and the things that I'm grateful for to help shift the energy at the same time.
Yes, definitely. Very helpful. I agree. Yeah.
I love this conversation. It's been really good. Do you have anything you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I have right now I'm doing a promotion. So if you are interested, look me up on Hotbod Health on Instagram. And you can get 7 days to try my program. I have lots of different options. And so what we can do is I set up a call with you I call it a planning session. And I talk to the person and we go through everything that, all of your issues that you're working on, everything that you need to do, all the things that you want to change. And then I literally set up the plan based on all of your needs. So all of your mindset will be based on, like, if you're really struggling with finding the time to work out, we'll work out a schedule. And we go from there. I do a completely a nutrition plan completely based on that plan, on what you need, what you want to weigh, what you want to do. So if you want to lose weight, I don't like to say more than a pound a week. I think it's not super healthy. But a pound a week or a pound and a half, like something like that, we can set up to 2 pounds at the very most. And then a nutrition or a fitness plan that is totally individualized and personalized for you. So if you want to try it, it's 7 days for free right now for a trial period. And I would love to talk to some people and have them come on and, or contact me. And just, I really want to be able to help people and get past whatever people are dealing with. I want them to get past, like, I don't want them to feel like I did 2 years ago.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And for anyone watching or catching the replay, 2 pounds a week is the max that you should be losing a week, because anything more than that, if you have a coach tell you anything more than that, it's not healthy. And not only is it not healthy, now you're going to have all this extra fat and skin, because at 2 pounds a week, your body can still tighten and tone any more than that, and you can't catch up. So keep that in mind. If anyone tells you you can lose more than that in a week, run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There is, at the very beginning of working out, you can lose at the very first, when you start doing something, you might lose 5 pounds right away, but it's going to be things like water weight and load and things like that. It's not actual.
Yeah. No, and that's still a good feeling, because you're clearing out your body and getting rid of the junk. And like, when you shift your nutrition, you go through a detox.
Definitely. So, sometimes you go through mind fog, you get headaches, you definitely have some of those cravings, but it's so worth it to fight through it. And just, my biggest suggestion is if you're trying to start a health plan, start with protein and look at the weight that you want to weigh and try to get as close to that weight as you can in protein. And then figure out your fat, and then your carbs usually come naturally. So and
if that sounds confusing,
yes, contact me. I'll help you. Yeah, I'm happy to help. I don't have to sign you up. I love to give advice, help people. So yeah, it seems so complicated, but really is not. If you can make really easy changes, simple changes that actually are sustainable and they work. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that you just said you love to, just give advice, but having that accountability too
Mm-hmm.
and someone to check in with is super important. So
Yes.
I really appreciate you being here
Yeah.
and
Thank
sharing
you.
your expertise and kind of the pieces that you work through. And I'm going to post your information in the caption so everyone can find you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been such a great conversation. I've
Awesome.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Awesome.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Have a
You
great
too.
day.
Bye.
Bye.